I'll tell you what, but here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put this out here. And anybody, you've touched on some great points and stuff like that. I talked about wanting to get Bobby Wagner, okay? Bobby Wagner, 2 years ago, when he was wanting to be here with Dan Quinn before he finally got the opportunity to go back to Seattle. He has led the NFL in tackles this year with like 162, okay? Had we got somebody like that, as opposed to going out and getting an Anthony Barr. That's our solution. Let's get somebody who's cheap, and for whatever reason, the Cowboys believe in guys that are injured, be it in college or be it in pros. Name me one situation where the Cowboys said, we're going to take a flyer on an injured player and it's worked out. Morris Claiborne had problems with a broken arm before he got here. Never did shit. Sean Lee had knee issues before he did anything here. He played well for us, but he was always injured, always had a pulled hamstring, always had a problem with his knee. You look at Jalen Smith. We spend a number 2 on him and say he's going to be our linebacker, and he's got drop foot. That one didn't work out. We keep taking chances on guys that are injured. We decide we're going to franchise tag Tony Pollard and let Zeke go, and he's got a fractured foot. You go through and say, Terrence Steele, we're going to give you an $83 million contract, even though you have just come through with a knee injury. It's just like injury after injury. Michael Gallup, hey, you know what? We're going to let go of Amari Cooper. We're going to let go of Cedric Wilson. You're injured. We're going to give you a big fat contract and expect you to perform. You can't keep relying on guys that are injured and think that they're going to come back to start the beginning of the year the same way they were when they were peaking trying to get a contract. We keep doing this over and over and over again. And at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if they bring back Leighton Vander Esch, because they constantly believe in trying to get a discount. You know, Stephon Gilmore, maybe 3 years ago, would have been a great pickup back then. You wait till the guy's older. You know, Brandon Cooks, maybe if we'd gotten him 2 or 3 quarterbacks before they got 1,000 yards with them, maybe he would have been a more lights-out player for us. We constantly wait, and we do the bare minimum to plug a hole, and instead of going out and saying, I'm going to sign a linebacker like a Demario Davis who has not missed a game in 6 years and averages 120 tackles, 6 sacks, and an interception or 2 every year, and is the heart and soul of a defense. No. We take a chance on a Leighton Vander Esch, a guy who's had neck injuries in college, and we say, you know what, we're going to keep rolling the dice with him. We end up saying, Tyron Smith, he's the big fella. You know, we know that he hasn't finished the season since 2015, but we're going to continue to go out here. We're just going to make his contract cheaper. This is the problem you have. You have to have guys that can play football and stay on the field. And the whole thing with Tony Pollard is not a Batman. He is a third down, outside the tackles, wide receiving type of running back. The Cowboys said, you know what, Zeke, we don't want to pay you, even though you're our bruising back. Tony, you got the bag, buddy. You're getting $10 million this year. We want you to do your job and Zeke Elliott's job both. And he wasn't ready to do it. You have to be able to run the football. And Jerry can get pissed off at Mike McCarthy. Y'all can get pissed off at Dak Prescott. But when you got other teams out there that are saying, we don't have enough from the draft, we need to bring in specialists and studs on the field to perform, to take us to the top level, you're always going to be right here. Good enough to compete, but not good enough to win it all, because you just don't have enough on the field. And that's where Jerry Jones has to look into the mirror and say, I've got to accept some of this too. I've got to put better players on the field. Now, people will say, go get Bill Belichick. But the problem with Bill Belichick is, and this is where I touched with you on here, and I said, the problem with Bill Belichick is you look at it and he's not been able to find a quarterback. Okay, in Dallas, maybe you guys believe or don't believe in Dak Prescott. I believe that he's a good enough quarterback to win if you get a team around him. I just do. And I can't see too many options to change that. I don't know that drafting a guy where we're going to draft is going to be able to be a better quarterback. And then you get the time of waiting, and time is short. Bill Belichick is not putting up with a Micah Parsons doing podcasts. You look at New England, you're part of the culture where it's us against everybody else. We don't talk to other people. Everything is controlled and micromanaged. I don't know how that works with Jerry Jones. That is a direct conflict. You know, Bill Belichick in his press conferences, he don't say shit. His players, low key. When was the last time you actually heard something from a player? It took Tom Brady, who was the heart and soul of that team, to go to Tampa before you actually got to know his personality. But that's not what Jerry wants. Jerry needs you out there spreading all of this stuff to stir shit up. That's the bottom line with Jerry.